Even though there is the free education and there are other things you probably might get for free, especially if you're a citizen, however, there are still some hidden costs associated with raising children here in Scotland and indeed the United Kingdom as a whole, and I'll be discussing some of these costs in today's video. Hi, if you're new to my channel, my name is Angoli. The first hidden cost I'll be discussing today is socializing. It was only when our daughter got to primary school that I got to learn about play dates, where you organize with other parents of your child's friends and you arrange for them to come together and play on a particular date. Although this is generally for younger children. Even though the play date can happen at a venue that is cost-free, for example at home or even at a playground, most times the play date tend to happen at, for example, at a soft play which charge an entry fee. There are also other socializing costs such as attending a birthday party or even you throwing a birthday party for your child. Now you might wonder, well, you attend birthday parties in the countries you're coming from, or your child, you've thrown birthday parties for your child, but there is a difference with these birthday parties I'm talking about. So when I was in Nigeria, when I was growing up in Nigeria, like in primary school, when kids had their birthdays, they tend to bring in party packs and then they just distributed that to their classmates, and that was it for a lot of the kids. What I've noticed here is that the children tend to invite their classmates who are their friends to a birthday party. Now, this birthday party, the other thing that really makes it expensive is that a lot of times, this birthday party, when you're going for it, you tend to bring gifts. And it's not compulsory to bring gifts, but you find that most people bring gifts and you just want to bring gifts as well. And the other part of it is that I have also noticed that these birthday parties don't generally happen at people's homes. So like when I was in Nigeria, when people had birthday parties, especially if it's not a big party like the 1-year party or something like that, the birthday party tend to happen at home, which means that at least you don't have to pay for a venue. Here, the birthday parties generally happen at event centers or somewhere that is not someone's home, which means that if you're planning to have a birthday party for your child, you have to also, in addition to thinking about paying for the foods and the drinks, you have to think about paying for a venue. The second hidden cost I'll be discussing about is after-school clubs. So a lot of parents end up paying quite a significant amount of money on after-school clubs, and this is simply because the schools, they tend to close much earlier than most people work. The good thing about the after-school club is that they will pick your child up from school alongside other kids from different schools, and then they take them to their facility, which is like a school, but generally the after-school club tend to be run by maybe a nursery school, and then they have the after school club aspect of it, but they take them to their facilities and they keep them engaged in arts and crafts and things like that until the parents come and pick them up. These after school clubs, like I mentioned before, they are not cheap. They tend to cost anywhere between £24 to £30 roughly per day. And the third hidden cost I'll be discussing is holiday clubs. Because of how busy everyone is here trying to make ends meet and trying to pay all the bills, which I'm sure you probably have heard people lament about so many times. So because of how everyone is busy here, it's really difficult to find someone who can look after your child for free, even for a short period of time. And this is a problem for parents every time the schools are on holiday. And then the fact that most people don't want to get into trouble by leaving their young children at home alone, then it compounds the problem, and you find that most people are torn between working to earn some money and then staying at home to look after their children. Most parents who don't have the option to either work from home or swap with their partner on shift jobs just end up registering their child or children in a holiday club where they will spend the whole day whilst they're at work, just to preserve their peace of mind. And the next hidden cost is school-related costs. Again, like I mentioned in the beginning, you've heard a lot of people talk about how school is free. I have mentioned that a number of times in my videos. However, there are things within school which you find that they cost quite a bit, and these are usually in form of activities which the children are involved in the school. For example, you might have to pay some money for your child to go on a school trip, and the school trip can be anything from as simple as going on a bus on a day trip to somewhere that's not far away from the school, or to something like going away on a weekend with like the school band, and then they go out to somewhere which is like school band camp, and then they spend the weekend there and they have all kinds of activities going on. And it can be something as elaborate as going with a school group on an international trip. But however, you find that you might have to pay some money to get your child on these trips, and as well as the money you might pay to get them on the trip, There might be other costs like paying for equipment or paying for some other thing, but generally there are some costs associated with these. And the final hidden cost I will be discussing is the extracurricular activities. For this one, I get quite dizzy when I hear a number of parents talk about how many activities their children are involved in, especially when you're not talking about just one child or even two children sometimes. Some parents are busy throughout the week shuttling their children from one activity to the other. And these people, they work as well. And they do this maybe after work. They're going from one point to the other, taking this child there, taking the other child there. But basically, people spend quite a bit of money on extracurricular activities here. It's not something which I noticed back home in Nigeria. People didn't spend that much. I mean, there might be the odd taking maybe piano lesson or taking one thing, but generally the kids here, they are involved in not one, not two, sometimes not even three, or extracurricular activities. And when you come into a society and you have your child, they go to school, they know what their friends do, it's only a matter of time before they too request to go to some form of extracurricular activity or the other. Or even you might feel the need to get your child involved just so they are not left out or they don't miss out. Because these extracurricular activities, they do help, they boost the children's morale, especially when they have performances. So talk of things like swimming lesson, dancing lesson, karate lesson, music lesson, and you name it. The thing with these extracurricular activities is that their costs are generally not quite straightforward. There is normally the standard fee which you pay for them to attend the classes. Then depending on the type of activity, you find that you need to pay for costume and pay for equipment. And again, depending on the type of activity, you find that when they are having their performances, you might have to pay for additional costumes and additional equipment. And also you generally would have to pay some money for tickets to go see your children perform when they put up performances at these extracurricular activities. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next video.